All right, the fall of Stack Overflow. All right, are you ready? Are you ready for this? I don't think you guys are ready. But here's the deal. I think that if you didn't see this one coming, you're probably using Stack Overflow, okay? First off, just a couple quick notes about Stack Overflow. Obviously, it's a place where you go it's like being able to combine all the best benefits of using Reddit, which is to get dunked on, and the ability for people who have never programmed before to ask the same question 9,000 times. Like, you get to put those two things together, and this thing was like $100 million business. Absolutely brilliant on those people. Super impressed by it. But we all knew that the fall was going to happen the moment you saw an LLM, right? You saw that, and you're just like, when I opened up Copilot for the first time, I knew for a fact I never needed Stack Overflow again, even for those dumb things where you search on the internet and it just happens to be the top. It just happens to be the top, resource. Over the past 1.5 years, Stack Overflow has lost around 50% of its traffic. This decline is similarly reflected in site usage, with approximately 50% decrease in the number of questions and answers, as well as the number of votes these posts receive. Think about the gold medal winning Stack Overflow question answerers that are just in shambles right now. They're just in shambles. Their karma is literally going to zero for value right now as we speak. It's a fire sale and you can't sell. Oh man. The charts below show the usage represented by a moving average of 49 days. I'm not going to lie to you. That just seems like a strange number to choose. Okay, 7 sevens, I guess. We're going to go with 7 sevens, the double luck. Look at this one. Page views. 20 million. Like, okay, you see some nice, like, cyclical movements here. I was in the wrong year. This is about when Copilot came out, isn't it? Goodness gracious. Okay, so it was right around in this time period. This actually lines up fairly well for when things started to go on the downfall. Okay, so November. So we had the private beta, which a lot of people got into. But, man... And then it's just like, it just tanked from there on out. It's incredible to see this because all people were waiting for was a better search engine, right? You know what would be even more interesting is to see Google's search trends. Like, if you could see absolute numbers, what happened to Google's searches as these new search engines are coming online? Are they going down? I haven't been paying attention to any of their quarterly reports on the stonk market. Okay, I only look at Netflix's quarterly report, by the way. And so it's like, I'm very curious what has happened as well, because theoretically, that's going to be the same effect, right? Google is just Stack Overflow, just slightly more meta. That's all it is, right? And so it's really interesting. Votes, accepted votes. Look at this. It looks like it's been going down for a long time, though. This has been people, they're just asking questions and not even, they don't even want none of it. Man, look at that. Look at that. Dude, it is going so far down. It's getting crushed. I'm not even sure what this number means. See, but here's the wild part. Something happened right here that really tanked. So this is probably the thing that, look at this. It's because it's still growing, right? One can kind of say this is we're in a growing pattern till right here. This must have been Copilot then, right? This is Copilot, and Copilot truly started everything in motion. That's my birthday. That's why that is it. But I think to me, what this goes to show is that Stack Overflow was a tool that was great in its time, but clearly not the right tool. It just was the right tool in its time period. Something that can integrate into your editor and give you the answer you're looking for right away was always a better tool. You know what I mean? Like, there's never been a better tool than that. And I totally am on board in some sense with these AI tools. Like, I really do think that these AI tools are very incredible. But the danger I see about these AI tools is that it also teaches somebody something called learned helplessness. If you've never seen learned helplessness, it's effectively where you can get a dog that doesn't know how to leave a pen that is a foot high. It feels like it can't get out. And and what happens effectively is that given enough kind of like defeating circumstances, somebody cannot overcome their problems. And so with these AI tools, what's really phenomenal about them is that when you're thinking of an answer, you get the answer. But when the tool itself becomes the pilot and not the co-pilot, which is the case for a lot of new people, they don't have to go through the pain of just debugging these really annoying problems that they've created where they have to correct their logical thinking. Instead, they're just trying to correct the prompt to get the right code to come out. Like, until you kind of go through that process, it's really hard to really one up your skills, right? Like, debugging is, for me, the truest sign of a senior engineer is not what they can build, but what they can debug. Because debugging is when you actually is like the truest understanding of a problem. The best engineers I know, no matter how horrible the code is, can debug it and find a solution so fast, especially for really large systems. It's like incredible to watch somebody that's sitting there that is like, okay, so here's our C++ engine, here's our JavaScript engine, here's our JavaScript. We're having a bug right here. It's actually traced all the way back inside of the bindings to the JavaScript engine, or the bridge method right here. That's, like they can just see so much further, and they can put huge systems together and grab little points, which is just really incredible to watch. And so when you see someone that's super good at that, absolutely love watching that. And so for me, that's the sign. That's the truest mark of a senior engineer, barring like social skills, right? So I'm not trying to think of social skills. I'm just thinking of purely engineering talent. And I just think that that's great. And AI, yeah, just like you said, AI doesn't let you go deeper because AI is constantly kind of saving you from that going deeper. And so for someone like me, who I have a pretty dang good understanding of a lot of programming concepts, Copilot is a multiplier for me. It makes me faster because it avoids a huge amount of boilerplate, things I don't want to have to write, things I don't want to have to do, and I know when to enact it, right? I know how to prompt it in such a way to give all the boilerplate right away, and I love that. But the inverse of what I'm doing, like if you didn't know what you're doing, like you're going to miss all these things, right? You're not actually going to learn those little teeny tiny technical logical thinking skills that are just genuinely required to become a great engineer. Like a good thing is we did this last night. Did this thing first try. All I'm doing is using a uint 16 array buffer and going through there and trying to find duplicates by adjusting an index and then resetting the index and reinserting items until there is no duplicates for the entire length of the buffer. And we did this first try. And why did we do this first try? Because there's no problem, right? There's absolutely no problem to this because I've just done this type of problem 900 times, right? And so I just know it. And so if Copilot were to fill it out, I could look at the answer Copilot provided and go, yeah, that's how I would do it. Or no, this is where they kind of went different. Why did they go different, right? And I think that's the big thing, is that I have enough experience that when Copilot gives me code, I can ask, why is it different than what I would do? Is it better than what I do? Rather than, is this how you do it? Which is a fundamentally wrong question to ask when you're looking at code. Right? That's not what you want to be asking, right? That means you're doing something completely wrong. That means you're solving something that's outside of your bounds, but you're not picking anything out of it. You're not getting something out of it. Anyways, just some thoughts on it. I'm really worried about the whole AI revolution, because I think that what it's ultimately going to do is it's ultimately going to create a entire lower section of just shitty engineers that are incapable of like hurdling anything past the AI. And I think that's really sad, right? And then I think it's going to create an entire upper echelon of engineers that are going to move 10 times faster to the point where they're like unreachable, if you will, because they can start learning topics super, super fast. And so you kind of get this like, it's like a disparity in this really weird way. And so the Chad echelon, if you will, the Giga Chad echelon. I don't know. It just seems, for me, it's obviously really great, right? It's really great because I can really use it to go fast. You know what I mean? How can you learn topics faster with AI? I can overcome things really, really fast. Like, here's the deal, is that when I'm just barely starting my OCaml. I don't even know what I called it. A Dune? What the hell did I call the thing? I'll have to even go find what I do. I name all my projects so stupid, thinking it's funny, and then I end up being really, really upset at myself. You know what I mean? And so, like shittier. But when I'm using Dune and I turn on Copilot, I can be like, Copilot, how do I read a file in Dune, with OCaml? How do I do this? How do I do this? How do I do this? And I can start getting things really, really fast, which makes my brain able to go, okay, this is how you do it. Okay, this is how you do it. Okay, this is how you do it. And I can kind of go faster. Maybe I don't quite remember the syntax to do something. I can start typing it out. It just starts filling it and go, okay, yeah, match statements. They have bars on this side. Okay, we do this, right? You start moving faster in your head because you have something that just, I don't have to stop what I'm doing. I don't have to go to the internet. I don't have to type in my question, see the answer, copy and paste it, hope it's correct. Instead, I kind of just get all of that. I get the LSP combined with Copilot all at once going, yep, this is both syntactically correct because my LSP isn't shit in the bed, and when I run it, it works, right? So it really aids in learning, but you have to have that foundation to learn. You know what I mean? If you don't have that foundation, it's really tough. But I think this is a really good part. Someone just brought this up right here. It's what's it called? It's like rapid shortcuts versus reading the docs. Yeah, so there's something about reading the docs that is super important as well. So right now I'm also in the process of learning HTMX and just kind of going through it. And I keep kind of hitting these roadblocks because what I really just need to do, I just need to go through this, and I just need to one by one read everything just so I'm exposed to all the possibilities that is available in HTMX. So that way, at this point, I know enough about it that I just simply need to broaden my knowledge so I understand every possibility with it. And then from there, do something meaningful. Do you know what I mean? And so I think there is the thing is Copilot doesn't prevent documentation reading. And if you don't read documentation because you have Copilot, then truly you're staying at only a surface level, right? You're truly at a surface level, and that's okay. Sometimes that's all you want to be. You know, when I'm upgrading a website to use React to use like a little chart that I've made for React, I don't want to learn much about React. I just want to get it done, get the hell out of there, never look at it again, right? If I'm in someone else's code base and all I want to do is just add one more function that looks like the rest of their code within the file, Copilot actually is really, really helpful for mimicking the style that's already there. Now, maybe it's a bad style, but I want to be a good citizen, even if a good citizen's leading the whole file to hell, right? I still want to be a good citizen. And so it's like, okay, I can mimic what they would do and kind of see their perspective through the lens of an AI, which I think is really, again, I think is really, really cool. AI could help reading the docs, absolutely. If we can get docs, if we can get effectively docs in an AI sense ported into an editor, that would be so incredible. I would love it. I would love it. Anyways, end of rant. I know I haven't talked about AI stuff in a long time because I got so annoyed by the amount of AI. You know what I mean? Like way too much AI articles. I'm glad that the AI hype has started to slow down a little bit. And now it's kind of being relegated into the same thing as like NFTs, right? Where there's just a group of people that are just like, AI masturbation, AI, and they're like, now they're kind of all by themselves, and that's fantastic. And now we're just like normal people not being inundated with AI constantly. Wait, what? Yeah, if you're learning how to program, I think Copilot will just spoon feed you. Whereas I think ChatGPT is better because you're asking and you're interacting. You know, it doesn't help you learn. It just gets stuff done. No, AI can most certainly help you learn. Absolutely, AI can help you learn. What are you talking about, dude? Just jump over to ChatGPT and just be like, oh gosh. I mean, these takes are just equally as bad, right? I mean, these takes are no worse or better than the people that think AI will solve everyone's problems, right? They're just equally shitty takes. That's all it is. You know, because you can be like this, explain OCaml match statements, right? And it's going to go through here and it's going to give you something that's probably pretty good, right? You're going to see some basic syntax. You'll understand how it's working. And the thing is like, it's like a tutorial generator, which is pretty nice, right? Because you get to make the mistakes along the way, which I think is really important. I think that's the thing is that when you read a tutorial, you don't get to make any mistakes. You get to simply go straight through. Oh, you meant Copilot? Okay, yeah, Copilot, I get that. I'm worried about hallucinations. Absolutely, you'll just have to fix those as code comes up. I don't think this is the end game, right? That's why I'm not worried about jobs disappearing. I honestly think more jobs will become available, right? I think more jobs will become available as these AI tools allow more code to be written. I have a theory that the more code written, the more jobs available. That's all there is to it, right? Like you can't somehow think that as we're just gonna magically manage all this code, right? Especially when there's when there's hallucinations and just like the thing is even if your Copilot gets 100% correct, you still can fundamentally misunderstand the problem and interject a whole slew of bugs, right? Like, so it's not like it's somehow magically gone. They're still there. My job is basically to debug shitty AI code. Yep, this is going to be a real one. AI can't do UI. Actually, there is literally a startup of AI doing UI. They wanted to sponsor me to do a stream. I've thought about it. Anyways, very interesting. The name is, I mean, I see the benefits of AI, but at the same time, I'd be extremely careful if you're just learning how to code and using an AI. Maybe as like a question and answer, you could certainly use, I think ChatGPT is a better learning assistant tool than Copilot. I think Copilot will spoon feed you and ultimately just leave you fat and useless again.